Golly, that's good.
I cracked myself up. I still haven't found my first Blanton's.
That's different. I really like that. They're like together, like peas and carrots.
That's funny. Sometimes accidents are good things. Peychauds or Peychauds or Peychaud. This is not what I expected. And here we are. It's Bourbcast night, and Justin's here, and Spencer's here, and I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining. This is going to be fun. It's going to be painful. It's going to hurt. Trisha's watching. How are you? This is going to hurt. This is the Calumet 15. I've been holding on to this for a while. You know, it's funny. I remember back when I started this whole journey, I remember one of the first pours I had that wasn't Woodford Reserve was the Calumet Farm 12 year, and that was this one. And they don't do this anymore. So this one has remained unopened, but it turns out, I went back and looked, I've never done a Bourbcast on the Calumet Farms. None. So this is going to remain closed probably until a very amazing occasion. And I mean, if I die before I open this bottle, just somebody pour it on my corpse. I know, that's morbid. It's morbid. I'm sorry. Paul's watching. All right, thank you. The gang's all here. All right, so this is going to hurt. One of my favorite scenes in the movies is the end of There's Something About Mary. Ben Stiller. He's sad that Brett Favre stole Mary. And he's walking down the street, he's like full open ball, just For me, that's one of the funniest scenes, because you don't still see characters do that. That's Stucker. Greg's watching. Hey Greg, how are you? So that's kind of the way I feel about opening up the 15-year Calumet Farms. I hope I don't like it, because then I'll want to drink a lot of it if I do. I know, Justin. I know. I'm a silly man. But it's just such an unusual scene in cinema, and you know, you never see just men ugly cry going down the street. It's just a very, very funny movie. But that scene itself is just one that just I roll on the floor. I just can't contain myself. It's hilarious. All right. So in never reviewing Calumet Farms before, it occurred to me that I have never profiled it, and I have never let you know what I thought of it. Even in the early days of the Bourbcast, I didn't tell you what I thought of some of these whiskeys and some of the lore behind them and all that stuff, and it's time to do that. I will say, though, that when I sought this bottle out to find out more about it, I saw a review, and I didn't read per se the review, I copied and pasted it, but it said that you need to do a first nose, and then let it sit for 2 minutes. So I'm going to do a first nose. Oh, that's nice. It's nice. It's got a nice nose. I didn't read what they said they got, but I'm getting a lot of those typical notes, your vanillas and cinnamons. Henry's watching. Larry's with us. Hey, the gang is all here. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. I didn't even promote this one except for a little bit last week. I didn't even put a photo up. What's the matter with me? This is Beautiful Bourbon. I didn't take a photo? A lot of very traditional notes, but there's a little bit of brown sugar in the nose. Okay, so now I'm going to stop. I'm going to tell you about Calumet Farms. I'll tell you this much. They were never started to be a whiskey company. They are a horse race company. They are a stallion company, a thoroughbred company. Bill's watching. Hey, Bill. Just a little bit about that. William Monroe Wright established Calumet Farm. Might even be Calumet Farm. I don't really know. Calumet Farm, Calumet Farm. It could be either. It's horses. Started that in 1924 in Lexington, Kentucky. They started to get into thoroughbred racing. Through dedication and passion and hard work, the farm began an unparalleled ascent, eventually topping the horse racing world. This rise to glory would cement them as one of the most dominant names in horse racing history. the first batch of Calumet or Calumet Farm, they got their first, hey Tyler, how are you? Released their first signature bourbon in a very small batch in 2013. So it's only been around for 11 years, and it's not even their juice. This stuff is distilled by the Barton Distillery. I didn't find out a whole lot about any barrels. I don't know the chars. I don't know where and what rick house. I don't know any of that stuff. I wasn't able to find it. There's not a lot out there about Calumet or Calumet Farms. I don't know. I'm just going to keep saying Calumet because I think that's what it is, but I don't know for a fact. But I'm just going to stick with that. All right. So Western Spirits Beverage Company is based out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. And they do some other brands as well. You may recognize Sam Houston, Bird Dog, Lexington. Those are some of the bourbon labels that they bottle alongside this. Master Distiller Steve Nally. The community may know more from his work at Bardstown, actually. Not a single barrel. They call this a single center cut. I'm sorry. Yes, they batch single center cut racks, totaling about 19 barrels. So they take the rick house, right in the center of it, and they take those 19 barrels, and that's what they blend together to make this. Okay. Again, Barton Distillery. Here's the mash bill. 75% corn, 14... Read. I do this when I'm doing voiceover. Sometimes I just have to stop and I have to say, Casey, read the script. Just read it. It's right there. Just read it. 75% corn, 18% rye. That is where we're starting to get into what I would consider a high rye. 18% is my cutoff. Anything below 18, I say it's a mid-level. This 18, you're getting into that high rye territory. 8% malted barley. Let's see, it's non-chill filtered. Aged 15 years. It's 105 proof. Now, I'm glad you're doing well, Tyler. That's great. I'm glad to hear it. But now is time to give it that second nose. It's been at least a couple of minutes, and that's what they said to do, so I'm going to give it a couple of minutes. I didn't really do anything with it. I didn't, swish it around or anything, and I could have, but I didn't. All right. It did open up. The cinnamons are much more pronounced after just 2 minutes of being open, or 3, or however long I've been prattling on. Oh yeah, there's some earthy tones to it even. Maybe a little bit of. Oh no, that's not earthy. That's fruit. That's dates. No, it's not. it's raisins. Wow. Boy, that cinnamon's just beating me up now. Still some brown sugar on it. Boy, I don't think I've ever had a nose open up like this one is. They were right. Just let it sit there for a minute. Goodness, the difference is amazing. Before, I felt like I had to stick my schnoz down in the glass. Now I don't have to. Now it's easy. Okay, so like I said, cinnamon, the vanillas are a little bit less now. It's not quite as sweet as it was. It's got just a... I always hate these notes. It's not. I mean, I like the notes, and I know what they mean to me, but there's just a little bit of cigar, tobacco, maybe a little bit of Corinthian leather in there, just a little tiny bit. It's for me, it brings it some. What am I looking for? Depth, some depth, right? A little more complicated, I guess. Tyler says, I cracked a bottle, and the first sip was char forward for sure. All right. Well, this being a fresh crack, I like to give it just a minute or two before I dig in. There are some people online that'll give it 5 minutes, or some that'll give it 10. There's some that'll give it a half hour. I saw one guy give it 45 minutes. Drink it how you like it. I think swishing it around and doing this kind of stuff is going to aerate it just as much as if you let it just sit there and not do anything for 45 minutes, especially in a Glencairn, because it's not getting the airflow of a regular, like a Bourbon Trail glass or a rocks glass. Okay, all right. That's got a smokiness to it. Just a little bit. I feel like Julie Andrews on the mountain. The hills are alive. This is a beautiful pour. The finish is a little bit more tanniny. Mouth feels fantastic on that. The bloom was very slow, but it was steady. It didn't fool around. It came up like this and bloomed across the tongue. Oh. Unfiltered, which you know, me lovey, the unfiltered. I do like it unfiltered, and this is unfiltered. It's not chill filtered, not carbon filtered. It's going to give it a little bit more viscosity. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can taste it this time. Again, that first taste, let it sit on your tongue for 10, 12 seconds. It's going to burn. But then the next time, you're going to get less burn and more flavor. And the more you do that, the more the flavor is going to come out over that burn, what I call the bloom. All right. This is a nice smooth pour. 15 years. Oh my goodness. That's very nice. So we did this one, the Bradshaw, last week. And this is 103.8. This drinks significantly hotter than this. And if you didn't see the review of the Bradshaw, you should watch that one. If you haven't seen it yet, you should watch it. That's all I'm going to say. All right. See if I can get you some notes. There's a dark side to this, and that's really presenting itself in the finish. That's that tannic finish. It's not. There's one I had a couple of weeks ago that the finish was tannic, and it was unpleasant tannic. This is not unpleasant tannic. It's different than what it is on the palate, but it's not unpleasant. Sorry, I'm a little hoarse. It's been a week. I was filming a private jet yesterday. And now when you say private jet, you think like a Lear, right? You think, the thing that'll sit, 12, 16, 20 people, something like that. No, this was a jet that transports teams, sports teams. I'm not going to say who or what sport. But this was a 757 that had been completely changed on the inside. It didn't have like the 3 rows of seats. They weren't all smushed together. As a matter of fact, these seats not only reclined, they had footrests that came up. They had lumbar support in the seats. There were tables that like fold down and fold, you can lock them up and you could play cards on them. You could, have your laptop on them, whatever. This was significantly fewer seats on this plane than you would normally get on any regular 757. But this thing was beautiful. And again, so the back area was more like the first class area with the tables and the recliners. They all recline. Most of them recline anyway. And but that's where your coaches and your higher end and your celebrities and the people that you bring along come. And then everywhere else is where the team sits. But again, there's enough room in those rows that you can recline and put your feet up. So I got to film that yesterday for the company that makes those planes. Well, the 757 is just one of the planes that they have, and it's evidently going to be coming to the area quite a lot, so we have many, many chances to film this thing and get what the client needs. This was really cool. It was a lot of fun. But, it's loud. and there's fumes and things like that. And they were working on the plane. They were doing maintenance on it, so all the doors were open, and so I'm again a little hoarse tonight. I apologize. All right. Very sweet right there on the palate. Very sweet. Creme brulee. Gosh. And then that finish turns. As it's going, it turns. Now it's getting darker. It's slow. It's slower than my hand is moving. It's slow, but it's turning and it's going a little bit more into that tobacco, that Corinthian leather, that stuff that I taste or that I smelled a little bit on the nose. It's now on the palate and it's on that back end. Yeah. And that's where we have a dark fruit, a tannic style fruit, maybe a raisin. Raisin seems a little too bright for it. Maybe a prune, that type of. I don't do prunes, but I've had them before. It's kind of where it reminds me of. All right, we got one more of these beauties, and I'll pull a little more out, and then we're going to put it on water. Okay. I got people texting me. I'm going to ignore it. It can wait. Would it be annoying to tune into this Bourbcast and like the whole thing is just me replying to people? Wouldn't it suck? I suppose if I said what I was going to text back out loud, it could be comical. But it's not about bourbon, it's about other stuff. All right. So that tannic back end on this is just interesting. Because on the front, none of this is revealed at all. A little on the nose, but... And it's fading. It's a long finish, too. It's not like a long finish, but it's a long finish. This is one that you can sip and go slow. I'm already drinking more of this than I wanted to. Look at... All right, okay. I don't know if the nose is going to change on water, and we normally don't check that, but tonight I'm going to check it. It's a 15-year. It's Calumet Farm. I'm going to check it. It didn't do nothing. It's still the same. It's still got some really nice sweet notes. A little bit of that brown sugar, a little... Nope, I was going to say honey. It's not there. I was imagining things, I guess. Okay. So on water. I actually brought a little bit of that bloom back. That happens occasionally. I don't know why that is. You add water, the proof goes down, and the bloom comes back after you've gotten your palate ready for it. Just unusual. Just weird. It smoothed it out a little bit. I got peaches. On the finish there, just as it started to turn, I got peaches on that. That doesn't happen very often. It really doesn't. Now I can't shake it. Now it's all I taste is peaches. I saw that Crown Royal released their salted caramel and their blackberry. It's getting about that time of the year. They do that during the fall. They'll do it again during the holiday season. But salted caramel and blackberry came out, pardon me, caramel, if you have a degree. They came out, I want to say in the northern part of our state, perhaps even lower Michigan. I I know I saw somebody talk about it, and there was a lot of it. So if you've been looking for that stuff, you might head to Lower Michigan or Upper Ohio, and you might find it there. All right, so I want to get into what they were saying. Upon uncorking, notes of oak and wood char are notable. And I mentioned to you that I thought it smelled and was a little smoky, right? It reminded me of a beautiful early crack on a scotch. I'm not getting that on the palate. I don't get that smokiness on the palate now. After breathing, complex sense of dark fruit and sweet corn. Didn't get the sweet corn, but I got the dark fruit. You heard it here, right? Taste, bold flavors of oak. I will agree with that. That could be part of that dark. I don't always pick out oak very well. I'm thinking of other things. Of course it's going to have oak. It's been in an oak barrel for 15 years. Duh. But sorry. But I don't always pick out oak because I'm looking for other things. But yeah, it's got a nice oaky tone to it. It isn't overwhelming, right? I don't have splinters on my tongue or anything like that. It says bold flavors of oak, aged spice, okay, toasted grains. Again, I wasn't looking for that, so I didn't find it. Toffee, that could be the creme brulee I was telling you about. And a smoky. Now, this is their palate. Whoever tasted this is their palate. So, everybody's palate's a little bit different. Toffee and a subtle smoky sweetness roll across the palate. Okay, I can agree with that. That's, yeah, we're in there. We're in there like swimwear. The finish, a lingering finish mellows, leaving sweet tobacco. I swear to you, I did not read that review. I promise you I didn't read the review. And rye flavors with a slightly dry mouthfeel. Yes, just slightly dry, but it's not off-putting. I've had some that just dry my mouth out completely, and this is not like that. The peaches is a new note that came off on the water. Let's see if I get anything else. Okay, so now that I'm back looking for it again, that is nice and oaky, and it does have a little bit of a smokiness to it. I do like this. This is a nice pour. If it didn't go dark into the tannins at the end, this would be a magnificent pour. But this is really good. All right. I've actually got a seminar I've got to start in 7 minutes, so we got to get this last test out of the way. I found the glass that I lost last week. I was just like, oh, I can't find my nice glass. I brought a nice glass down. Well, I found it. It was just off camera, and I couldn't reach it. All right. A gorgeous ice sphere. I can't tell you how bad I want to crack this one again since I've never reviewed it. This is the 12-year. As much as I like the 15-year, I remember adoring the 12-year. I used to tell people about this. I know there's some things that you just don't tell people, right? You don't tell people where you caught all your fish. So you might not want to, maybe if I would have told more people about this, they'd still be making the 12-year. They're making an 8. I think they're making a 10. They're doing the 15 and the 16. That may be, and they have it like an 8-10 split or something like that, which is, what? I could be very happy if they could continue with the, oh, my cork's not on it, but if they could just continue with the 12-year. They can do 12, 15, and 16 if they want to. That was a big pour. I should not have poured that much. Now look how much is out of my bottle. Oh. That's a big pour. That's a big glass, and that's a big pour in a big glass. All right, finger stir. All right. I'm going to regret that big pour. I am. I mean, okay. It didn't feel cold. Stirred, not shaken. Finger stirred. Okay. I'm worried that I'm going to water it down. Why the finger stir? Ellen's with us. Hey, Ellen. How are you? Why the finger stir? The finger stir is because I will be honest, and I'm like the clumsiest person in the world with an actual bar spoon. I have not gotten it settled. I don't know how to do it. I'm terrible at it. I can't do it. I need somebody to teach me the technique of a good stir with a bar spoon. That's part of the truth. That's part of the truth. The other part of the truth is that Paul, who's watching, and I started the finger stir because I didn't have anything to stir it with. Oh yeah, you can do this. But it doesn't stir it around enough. It doesn't get that ice moving. So, with the absence of the expertise of using a bar spoon and not having any swizzle sticks handy, you gotta stir it with something. God made the fingers before he made anything else. So I'm going to use what was made first and give it the finger stir. Wow. That's actually really nice on ice. Those caramels really come out nicely. The oakiness is still there. Still just a slight bit smoky. Just a little. Ooh. I spilled my Calumet 15. This thing has seen better days, hasn't it? Okay, I'm sorry. I got 2 minutes and my seminar starts. I gotta go. All right. That's actually really nice on ice. Calumet 15, if you see it, buy it. It's good. I'm not rushing, I promise. This is the last Thursday of the month of September. And we've spent the month of September just kind of playing around, trying different things that are kind of randomized in the collection. Next month, I know, it's supposed to be Sober October. I've tried to do that, the last 2 years? So I will try to do Sober October when I'm not doing the Bourbcast. But during the Bourbcast, we have a new series we're going to start, and it's about time. I should have done it a long time ago, and now it's finally here. Are you ready? I think you are. We're going Knob. So Knob Creek. Knob Creek, we've done a few Knob Creek products, but we haven't gone into the depth of everything they offer. They do special releases, they do single barrels, they do bourbons, they do ryes, they do all sorts of stuff. And through the month of October, we're going to hit Knob Creek, the different pours that I have from Knob Creek. Now, we've done a few of them. We did the smoked maple, and we did the 9-year, and then we did the twice-barreled rye. I think that may be all that we've done from Knob Creek. And I've got some special bottles that I've not opened because I wanted to do it here on the Bourbcast, on Beautiful Bourbon. So, finally, we're going to do the Knob Creek starting next week. That'll be October... Open up the calendar, Casey. Take a look. You looked at it earlier, and I didn't get it. So it'll be Thursday, Thursday, October 3rd. The downside to that is October 4th is Vodka Day. I'm joking. I actually like vodka, so it's all good. But on the 3rd is when we kick off the Knob Creek series. So be here for that. I've got quite a few interesting barrels that I'm looking forward to trying out with you. So if you have any Knob Creek, if you have any special Knob Creek bottles, you might join in and drink alongside. That would be fun. I would enjoy that. Until then, till next Thursday. Will I even be here? Let me open my calendar again. No, I will not. So we may actually do this on Vodka Day. We may actually do this on Friday the 4th on Vodka Day. Because I won't be in town next Thursday. We'll do it the next day. Or maybe the day prior. What's got on the day prior? Day prior, I got this big monitor right in front of me. Take the trash out. Okay, so I might be able to do it on the 2nd, on Wednesday the 2nd. We'll just see what works out better. That's funny. No, I will not be here next Thursday, but we'll do either Wednesday or Friday, so stay tuned. Keep watching for different announcements and things like that on Beautiful Bourbon on Facebook and at Beautiful Bourbon. Well, you won't see announcements on YouTube, but you'll see them on Facebook, so follow us on Facebook at Beautiful Bourbon. All right, we will see you next week. Thank you so much for watching. Getting into the knob. Yeah, baby. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.